Hey everybody. Alright, so I promised you all a video on how to do the Visio to do the project. Um, I hope this will help you guys out. I've never used Visio before, so I had to learn a lot of this on my own. And I wanted to put this video together to help others who I know are probably going to have the similar issues, so you're not just bombarding the teacher. I really hope that this video will help guide you to show you how to use the tools that you need just to get the projects done. And I'm pretty sure that the tools and everything I'm about to show you are generally what we're going to be needing to use the rest of the semester. So it's really worth watching this anyway. And it'll help you get your homework done much faster. I did spend about 2 hours just researching this stuff. Again, never used this program, so please take advantage of this. Alright, so first of all, take note, I got Visio 2016 Professional. When I went to the Microsoft Imagine from the school website or whatever, it was literally like one of the first options. I admit I'm a procrastinator, I'm lazy. I wasn't going to go search for like some specific one, and the very first one on the road there was Visio 2016 Professional. So that's the one I got. It's the one I'd also recommend. I mean, it's the latest up-to-date one. Why not, right? So you're going to go ahead and start that up. I'm going to show you straight from the beginning. As you can see, I actually already did my homework. Maybe I named it wrong. I'm not sure if there's naming conventions. I got to go check my notes. Anyway, I started with a blank drawing. US units, hit create. This is the main screen. Now the most important thing that we need to do is set it up to put our name and the class and to make sure that's going to be on every page. That's easy. So you're going to go ahead and click the Design tab, Borders and Titles. And the one I used is, if you scroll down all the way to the bottom and right, it was this layout here. And this one was nice and clean, and it also has page numbers on the bottom. It'll automatically add the page number as you add pages down here. This is also a lot like Excel, where if you've ever worked in Excel, how it has the tabs for each book. This is actually the same thing, just without the tabs. So when you add a new page down here, it'll just put them across like that, and it updates to see page 4, page 3, page 2, so you don't have to do any of that yourself. You can also rename these simply by right-clicking on it and renaming it so it's more meaningful. Now, in order to actually set the title and add everything, once you did the borders and titles and put it in there, the template in there, you got to click on V background 1. This pops up once you put the template in there. You click on that. Now you can double click the top area, and I left the date in there personally because it's automatically today's date. It was pretty fantastic. So I went ahead and just did something like this. Just name. I did class. I'll show you what it is. MIS315, and it's section 3 for our class specifically. And then I put PC 1 or whatever, chapter 1 maybe, just to help it more. Something like that. Once you get it in there, you can go ahead and click on all the pages, and now see it's going to be on every single one. And the way you edit it, again, is by clicking the V background -1. And you're going to get that info there. Now it's set up for every page. The next most important thing you need to know are the shapes. Again, the shapes he showed us in class with the 2010 version are actually, it's different now, and that was one of the things I had to look up and go through to find the right ones. I am confident, I believe I found the ones that have every shape that we're ever going to need, and they are as follows. I hope I'm right on this. It's going to be, once you click on it, you're going to go down to Software and Database, Software, and you want to choose the following: Controls, Data Flow and Diagram Shapes, Language Level Shapes, and Dialogues. This will cover everything, including when you need to do the UI design in Visio, which all of this entire project's done in Visio. You don't really have to import a thing. You can do everything in Visio. That was a really cool thing. And by choosing those options, again, it was Controls, Data Flow Diagram Shapes, Language Level Shapes, and Dialogues. You should be set to do everything we need to do for this class. The last thing you want to set up or know is you go to the Insert tab, And for a lot of what you need to do is enter text, like our purpose, and you also want to do text for like headers or titles if you really want to. All of that is going to be done through this. So in order to add the text to a page, to do, say, like the very first step, which was purpose, input, process, output, or whatever, you're going to do it just like this. Add it in. You can make the text box as big as you want. Once you've added this is also important to know is how to use the text box. Once it's in there, right click, and that'll let you do all the font editing you need. You can choose your fonts, size, bold, italic, even alignment, which I preferred the right alignment, just like a regular document. And it'll actually work like a regular document. You can press tab, for example, to get like paragraph indents and all of that. So what I did here, though, is this is where you enter like purpose, input, process, output, right? I mean, and you can make it multiple lines. Like I can be like blah 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 blah, you know, just to make it, and then I can emphasize it, make it look neat, right? All that's done through the right click. So, okay, now the other thing I liked is once that's done, let's say you're in there, in order to actually click back into the text box, you have to click near it, like near the actual text in the box, and it'll actually highlight the whole box. Notice, though, I can't click over here. Even though if I click here, the box itself is that big. That was annoying, but it still works. And what I liked is once the text is there, you can move it however you want to get it just the way you want. That's why I meant you can use it to make titles, things of that nature. But don't forget, it's the text box that you're going to use most of the time to get your text in there, unless you're actually making the UI form. For the UI form, when you're doing the UI design, you want to go to dialogues first and use the dialogue form. The reason why I use this one is this one, let me zoom in, is the one that looks most like what a real VB program form will look like. Sans the minus and maximize and X button. Sans is French for not there, I guess, or whatever. But you know, it looks most like it, and you can even double click the title part in here to make it look like a VB form, right? That's pretty much, I mean, what it's gonna look like in the program anyway. So you don't need all that extra here. This is the one that looks most like it. Application form doesn't have that box. It looks like just a regular square, like a window. It's more like if you're trying to design, I guess, what a user's window would look like on a computer, maybe. I have no idea. But I would not recommend using that. I'd recommend using the dialogue form option. From here, once you get that, it's really all you need from here. You're going to go to, controls. And that's where you find things like, in fact, here I'll give you a big hint to what the homework should look like, something along these lines. So label, text box, right? I'll add another one just again. And then the buttons. Button. Later on, you might have to use the list box or drop down or spinner and all that. That'll be later on. But there you go. I mean, doesn't that look like a real window, a real form? Hey, I just made it look a mock-up of what I want to do without actually drawing it on paper. And when you get the labels, again, to change the text, standard, double-click. Double-click. Want to change the text here? Double-click. In fact, you can even erase it and go nothing, which is probably what you're, you know, most text boxes are blank anyway, so, and that's what it'll end up looking like. So again, double-click. It'll just let you change the text. That's it. I just showed you how to do a design UI design mockup. I just showed you how to add the text boxes. The last thing you need to know is the actual shapes. This was a little tricky for me to find out. So the ones he showed us in class for the 2010 version are the flowchart shapes. Notice that when you click here, though, it's only one thing. It's like, what? Huh? How it works is you drag it in. Once it's in, it's standard set default to process, I believe. You right-click it, and you can change it to decision shape, document shape, or the input-output shape. And that's where you get those standard shapes where he was showing us in class. And to get like start and stop, that's where you're going to look under data flow diagram shapes. And here you can find the oval. It's the oval I use for start and stop, right? And so I actually did something like that. And then you have all the things in the middle. You'll switch between these two, adding this, right, process. So, you know, it'll generally, you can move them around, and again, just to add text, you double click, double click, double click, you can add the text, and you can even format it again, right clicking. And hopefully this video gave you a decent, good idea of how to begin working in Visio. Again, I showed you how to use the flow shapes properly, how to put them in. I showed you how to do the UI design and how to add the text box and the background so that the header's on every page, as well as the little page number in the corner. Hopefully you'll find this useful. I wasn't going to do the homework for you. I hope that's not what you guys were looking for. But I did show you all the tools you need and how to go about getting it done. And I'm pretty sure that's everything we ever will need for any project we do the rest of the semester. The teacher can correct me if I'm wrong on that. Hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful.